With Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom hitting $1 billion, a high worldwide box office that is rare for most movies, it got me thinking about the dinosaur genre thriving yet again. We've seen that insane box office drive before with the first Jurassic World movie, and the only thing I can think of is a missed opportunity from Capcom. As we switch the demographic to video games, even Ark Survival Evolved has a high ratio of concurrent Steam players daily. I think it goes without saying that a Dino Crisis revival certainly needs to happen after Capcom's 2019 fiscal year comes to a close. For those unaware, Dino Crisis was a survival horror project helmed by Shinji Mikami, the famed creator behind Resident Evil. One would imagine that the creation of that game was just a facelift of the previous survival horror formula without anything to add to the table but dinosaurs. It didn't help matters that the game came out the same year as Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. While I can't disagree with the notion that there is still familiar territory with the fixed cameras and tank controls with Dino Crisis 1, there was a lot of new things that were present as well. The exclusion of a health bar in favor of physical bleeding happened, options to tranquilize the dinosaurs or kill them, the inclusion of trapping dinos with lasers in a certain area and utilizing more 3D backgrounds over the usual pre-rendered ones that Resident Evil was known for. That game did a lot of interesting things. The series spun off its standard fare of sequels, with Dino Crisis 2 becoming more of an arcade style shooter, Dino Stalker, which is quite similar to Resident Evil Gun Survivor, and then whatever steaming pile of dino crap they decided to release on the original Xbox with the third entry.
That is one big pile of shit.
Despite the arcadey nature of Dino Crisis 2, I thought that it was a legitimately good sequel. It threw all the survival horror conventions out in favor of more brain-dead shooting, surely, but it's hard to admit that the game wasn't fun for what it tried to do. The more faster pace just worked out for that experience. Now the series has unfortunately been extinct for almost a decade. The question everyone is asking that is relative to our desires is that, will Dino Crisis ever make a comeback, given that Resident Evil Remake is happening and it seems to be taking a stab at more survival horror territory? I assume the failure of Dino Crisis 3 led to the decision amongst Capcom to can the series entirely. Let's be honest here, the sales of Resident Evil are still high to this day, and most publishers look at the money, they look at the sales for a particular video game franchise and continue forward with what's popular. Hypothetically, it couldn't be more of a brilliant time for Capcom to drop their archaic way of thinking and make a new Dino Crisis game, considering that I just said Dino Crisis could be profitable. Dinosaurs are still as popular as ever. Once again, I point to Ark and I point to Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, raking in $1 billion. Dino Crisis went through several phases in its short lifespan, from survival horror, then action, then more action. I believe since it's been so long, we haven't had the chance to sink our teeth into more of the Dino Crisis mythos, so I'm not sure if they would have a legitimate sequel, given that it's been so long since the cliffhanger from Dino Crisis 2. They should either reboot the franchise while keeping Regina as the titular main character, or remake the first title. The latter has more groundwork if they remade Dino Crisis, because it already has a blueprint that the modernized devs could use. It would be just a matter of subverting expectations so players wouldn't expect the same old mechanics around every corner, just like what they're doing with Resident Evil Remake 2. A reboot would give the series a cleaner slate, no strings attached to any old story beats, while laying the new foundation for the franchise that hopefully could become a new trilogy. I would really like that a lot. Considering the gameplay elements and implementations here or there, I think this is the first obvious step in the right direction if they kickstarted Dino Crisis with the Resident Evil engine. That engine looks fantastic, and it looks like it's going to be prevalent for many years to come, so one could imagine how realistic and fast a dinosaur could move with this new updated tech. I believe to fix the identity crisis in the gameplay itself, they need to reassess the situation. They need to fall back on Shinji Mikami's thought process of what makes survival panic. What happens when you're not fast enough? What happens when you're not quick to react to the events in the game? What happens when you buckle under pressure after being assaulted by a giant ass motherfucking T-Rex? Speed and reflexes are the name of the game here, so I believe Dino Crisis should perch on the formula of a fast-paced survival game. Dinosaurs are immensely faster than the living dead zombies, so this game would need to blend action and horror. Think of Dead Space 2, for example. I think Dino Crisis should play similar to those games. One mechanic I would love to see is the bleeding mechanic come back, it being a lot more detrimental to the player, so to speak. So if you leave like wounds unattended, then dinos can smell it. They can track you to hiding areas, and gradually, if you don't heal your wounds, they get infected, you lose health depending on the severity. I think The Last of Us Part 2 is trying to do something similar with an arrow in Ellie's like arm, and she tries to, take it out, but if you leave it in, it will affect your aiming, stuff like that. One thing the series could do without is the overcomplication of puzzles being removed. This is something that needs to happen. DDK keys can exist, but don't make us consistently run into puzzles every single second. I want to have a nice survival horror experience with the dinosaurs. Let me face dinosaurs, not I need to unlock this grate, I need to move these pipes, I need to figure out this keycard passcode. I don't really like the puzzles in the original Dino Crisis. Very intricate, Mikami. Very, very intricate, but they need to be less, in my opinion. I think there should be puzzles occasionally. They shouldn't be all over the place like it was in the first game. Dino fighting and evasion should be at the forefront with an over-the-shoulder camera, and I believe that's how the game should also play. Like I said, Dead Space, people, let's get it. In conclusion, I think this has high potential, but it's up to Capcom to see it. Let the shadows of the past go and give Dino fans the benefit of the doubt with a new game. Make it creepy, make it fast-paced, start over from scratch. If you believe that Dino Crisis Shit 3 has a hold on you, then forget about it. Just start over, make a reboot. Make sure you bring Regina back into the fold, and then, find a proper formula, make action horror. You'll have something that's a possible hit on your hands if you do that. Hopefully we see this idea in the future, and if not, we still have the memory of what exists with 1, 2, and Dino Stalker, and not that Dino crap game that came on the Xbox. Ugh. Dino Crisis 3. Oh, man. You sucked. Alright, so I think that's the end of this video. I had a lot of fun making it. I hope you guys really enjoyed my sort of perspective on what will happen if they made like a new Dino Crisis. How should they do it? Things like that. Hopefully I'll have this video up sometime by tomorrow. I'm really pumping out content. Once again, make sure you show your, appreciation by liking the video, commenting. Let me know what you think, and I would love to hear back from you. Subscribe, stuff like that. I will see you guys next time. Later.